All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today for another CTC webinar. This is on Sheet Generator. It's part 4, the last part of the Sheet Generator series that I've been doing the last 4 weeks. Today we're going to continue on and create layouts. My name is Tony Crick. I'm the Civil Product Manager here at CTC Software. If you have any questions as we move along here, go ahead and type them in and we'll try to get to them as the webinar goes on. Otherwise, we'll certainly get to them at the end. Okay, Sheet Generator. It's part of our SIM project suite of tools. We're currently at version 24.2. It is intended for everyday Civil 3D users creating design and production drawings, and will work in the last 4 versions of Civil 3D back to version 2020. Sheet Generator. As I said, it's part of our CTC SIM set of tools. And it does similar things to the native tools, but goes a little further. So native tools will create, but they don't really edit sheets. And then you need to recreate or manually edit your sheets when things change. And the view frames and match lines are somewhat inflexible, and we generally have limited profile view controls. Whereas Sheet Generator is more versatile, eliminates manual editing, and in the long run saves time. We create model space view shapes that are linked to our sheets. It's easy to set up, it works with current standards, and uses all block definitions. And with that, like the native tools, we can create plan and profile, plan and plan, plan and only, profile only. And we can add and adjust match lines automatically to plan and or profile. And that just uses a standard block that you will create, which makes it a little more flexible than the Civil 3D native match line. We can add it when we have a profile view, station and elevation control that we can access through the tool. We also have better pipe network profile view projection in that we don't have to grab every pipe network in the drawing. We can look either side of our alignment and pick up just those that we're really interested in. And our layout, chat, tabs, and sheets are generated automatically. And as with all of our tools, we have no proprietary objects, so we can share without losing data. So with that, let's jump into Civil 3D and continue on. Oops. Okay, there we have it. Okay, if you have seen any of our previous webinars or you've joined us here, we're continuing on. In the first ones, we talked about just generally what the tool does. Then we continued on. We talked about the blocks that I spoke of there that we put in. We have this masking block, our match line, our north arrow, and then our viewport blocks for our print, our plan, and our profile print areas. And they tie into our layout tab right here. They're created and put in here as well. They're created at 1-to-1 here and put in to our tabs. So in the last one, we laid out our different layouts here for our main line and our 2 connecting roads here. And that's what we have here. So I've gone ahead and I've added this pipe network here. I'm not sure if we had it last time, but I populated in here and I have labeled these structures and pipes as well. And I did that using Label Genie right here. So we have all these settings for Label Genie that we can create. With that, also we have a series of templates to load. If you haven't used Label Genie and you're labeling things, I highly suggest you use this. And if you haven't used our tools before, you can get it on a trial version and use our tools. Label Genie, very powerful. And if you are watching this and you are using Label Genie and you would like any of our templates, and that includes our blocks right here for sheet generator, contact us and we will get those out to you. So I think I covered everything from the past. So today we're going to create our layouts. And we use the planned view shapes, as I said, to lay these in before. We use the profile views, which is nothing more than accessing the native tool set to create our profile views, and then we adjusted them to get them to look how we wanted them to look and land within our print area block, which is this right here. And we adjusted everything to make it look better, and then we created our profile views, which is right here. So today we're going to create the layouts right here, show you how that is done. And it's very similar to our native tools. So we have to save all that through, and we get this dialog box popping up here, which is similar to the other boxes that we've had before. So with that, we're gonna do this one. This is our main line, our evergreen, which we did in our last webinar. And we're gonna create for these, this here too, and this one here. So with that, we need to select, again, our profile view shapes. So where do we want it to go? We want it this layer, what it's going to look at. The print block, that one doesn't need to be special. We talked about how these view shapes need to be on separate layers or you will lose some of this information here. Again, if you haven't seen that, you can go to our YouTube channel and view the previous webinars on this. So again, we do the same thing with our profile view shape layer and our profile print block. And the print blocks do not need to have their own layer. So similar to the native tools, then also we can select what we want right here. I don't know if you're seeing my cursor, but it's up there in the upper left corner. So with that, then it recognizes the layouts that we have, profile layouts, and our stationing along the layouts. And we can choose to print them all or select one, whatever we choose to do right there. Let's just simply select them on or off. So I'm going to go next here. And we added the north arrow block right here. It's just that simple block in there that we selected right there. Our insert matchline blocks, which are these right here. These drafting guides. And then our station, we can choose to have none, or we can have our station show up, an adjacent sheet name, if we wanted to add that as a attribute block too. I should probably show you that matchline block. In fact, let me close this real quick and we'll show you where that's coming from. So it's just the matchline, it's just this way. I know we talked about it before, but I didn't really open it up. It's just a block with attributes in it right here that it will grab when we create our sheets and populate these fields right here. And again, if you are having trouble with that, just contact us. I will be happy to share that with you. Let's get back to where we were here. Okay, we're through here, and it remembers what we had set here too. So we don't have to go back and do it again once we have it set up. So I'm going to next through here, and we can put match lines at the beginning and the ending station if we choose to. Most of the time you probably wouldn't, so I'm going to leave those unchecked. And the layer that it goes on, the sheet generator match line layer. And then do we want to put the match lines in our profiles or not? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Totally up to you. A lot of flexibility here. And then how do we want our profiles created? What do we want them centered on? I want it centered on everything, so I'm going to center it on the existing ground, the finished ground, and the main storm for evergreen right here. So I go next again, and now we have to, here's where our layout comes in right here. So we want, what do we want it to match? We want it to match our plan and profile 20 scale, which we have laid out here with our blocks already fitted, ready to go. You can set this however many you want per drawing. If you wanted to break them up, have individual sheets for each one, you could set that to 1. I know we have, what, 8 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at 15. Doesn't matter if it's over. And then our viewport scale. Again, if you were doing multiple scales, you wouldn't have to create multiple things. You could just change your scale factor right here. And then, well, what do we want? We have to set the name of our drawing. So what do we want it to be? And this is just like the native tools. We access the same thing. Anything you want to put in here, I'm just going to leave it at the layout name. But again, simply the native tool set right there. So I can cancel out that, and that's the same up here too. Same thing, same settings. So if you've used that before, you're familiar with how that goes. And then our storage, where do we want it to go for our sheet set? So now we're going to create a sheet set automatically with this. And with that, we're ready to create our layouts. So I'm just going to click finish here. And we're going to see this happening in the background. What it's doing, it's creating a copy drawing to temporarily create all of our layouts and then put them into the sheet set manager. So we should be seeing on the bottom of the screen there, you're going to see the layouts being created. So once it gets going, it goes pretty quick. It's laying everything in there. Gives you that quick preview. You can see what's happening. And now it's created all of our layouts and put them over here in our sheet set for editing. So now if we want to do anything, we come into here and we enter, we open up our sheet set. Did I get into the name of it? I named it Evergreen right here. I gave it the name of the alignment, and then it takes on the stationing as well. So we have our layouts right here. I have XREF in here, so I have to go back into model space and reassociate the XREF. Because of where I put it, I have a different path for it. You wouldn't do that for your project. You would have everything in the same folder, but for demonstration purposes, that's what I've done. So now we can look at our layouts, and this all matches everything we have set when we did our layouts. So nothing too mystical, magical, works very similar to the native tool set. The real advantage of this is if things change, and we kind of covered that on previous webinars on how easily we can get things set up if things change for our view shapes and everything else, and adjust those. And here's our match lines right here. They're simple paper space objects, so you can put them, if you don't like where they land, like that one, so you can move those freely, move those around. Our north arrow comes in the proper orientation. And just like that, we're ready to create or make our layouts for our printing. So now let's go back. I'm going to close this right here. That's our evergreen. I'll save that so I have my XREF in there. And now we can do it for this profile right here, these profiles, which is this road, this Manchester right here, this connector road. And it's the exact same process to go through it. All you have to do is change a couple of the settings in there to create them all within the same sheet set. The only difference here is our layering, as we spoke about before, and our alignment. So we want to use that Manchester alignment. And as we talked about before, we needed these different layers for that. And I mentioned this block is the same, has no effect, but the layers are important. So next, here's our stationing, matches right here. And again, I don't need to change anything else about it. Everything remains the same. Oh, this block has the flip state on it so that it aligns right. Again, nothing magical about that. Simple attributed block with a flip state attached to it. So then it's just pure repetition. So the alignment name, that's where that evergreen is coming from. And that's simply to keep our sheet sets organized. You could put whatever you wanted here for your name. And then the drawing name itself right here, where that goes into your sheet sets. So that's going to take on the same alignment name. So with that then too, we can finish again. Let me pull this off to the side here. So same process happening in the background. So creating the temporary copy to create the layouts before it gives it the actual name, drawing name. So then here they are right here. As I open that up again, this is now our sheet set drawing. Okay, this is what it makes. That's probably a little bit of the confusing part for some of you folks out there of where that goes. It's all in how you have your sheet sets pathed and created wherever you put those. So again, I have to reassociate my alignment name. If you put those in the same, as I said, folder that you're using, then you would not have to repath it as I've done. So again, all the same stuff, it's just a duplicate, and the name of the drawing matches for your organization-wise, matches your alignment, so you know where they're at. So let's take a quick look at these again, make sure everything looks good. And we're seeing how things are nicely lined up, and that has to do again with in our previous setups how we made sure we were lining. We could have centered it, or did we want them lined up with our plan view shapes, and we selected yes, so that these will come in like this automatically. So I'm going to close this, and we'll create the last one. So again, the same process, but doesn't really take all that much time. No, as you have to do natively, go and check, move things one by one by one. Everything is created mostly for you. So again, same process. We need to pick our other road. And then again, as we talked about, the changing the layers so it looks at the right view shapes. If it says it can't find them, that's usually the error if you put those on different layers. So we only have the one this time. And again, all the same settings. I don't have to change anything else. Everything's good to go. But I do have to select my layout to duplicate and hit finish. So just the same process gets you there. We can take care of a lot of our kind of editing and whatnot ahead of time if things change. And this is the last step before production. So again, they lined up right here. Here's that drawing. And I do have to reattach my XREF to this one as well. So I'm just simply selecting a new path for it in my XREF manager. And there we have it. So ready to go there. But what if things change? Well, let's look at another drawing. So I'm going to save that there. I'm going to jump into another drawing over here. Like I said, a deal like this now, if your something changed in here, and in a case like this, most likely would probably be something with one of your pipe networks or something to that effect that adjusted on here, we'd simply go through the same process to recreate all of this and then just step right through again, tool by tool, as we talked about in the other ones. Everything's sequentially located on our toolbar up here so that it makes sense. Let me go to this other drawing I have right here. And I think I showed this in one of the other webinars, more of a simple approach. Right here, we laid these in here. I haven't done any labeling to this. As you can see, just put the profiles, pipe networks, all of that together. So, but what if we wanted to change the view of this? What if we were only wanting to show, for instance, just the pipe network here, the sewer? And we might just want to end it, say, right here at 89, or start it somewhere in this area, 55. So we just go through the same thing again. So to rehash kind of some of the other webinars, I'm going to just go through the process again, and we said we wanted to change where those look. So I see a question has come in. So this points to a sheet set you have already set up, or does it create the sheet set for you? It creates the sheet set for you, or you have to path to it. So yes, you have to have your sheet set template and everything set how you would normally do it, and just make sure your path to it. Let me go back to that real quick, because maybe I didn't cover that. Cancel that. That's a good question. Thank you. I did mean to show that. Over here. So create layouts when we do this, kind of the last step of it. And I'm not going to recreate it here. I'm just going to quickly go through these and show you where that is. That's right here where your sheet storage location is, and which is why I don't have it. I have it in a sheet set folder just for these demos. But you would just click right here to set where it goes right here. And so your sheet set templates that you would use right here too. That's this right here. That takes care of all that. A good question. Thank you. Whoops. I don't know what happened there. Excuse me. Okay, let's go back to this one here. So I haven't created any layouts for these yet, but I'm going to go ahead and create them first and see what happens. So it's, again, the same process, the exact same process. These are just the defaults to save these, just like the native tool set does. So this is the alignment is this right here called timber path on this one. Again, the plan and profile. I have a little different layering in here just to show you how these are populated, I guess, right here. So this one clearly is wrong. So I need to go get that one. And that would be this one. I don't know how that got in there. Should have held on to the last time. But this is a different drawing that I'm using. So again, using the same block definitions plugged into as you would probably use your template drawing for, which this is in the background. So then again, same setup here. And if I wanted to dump one of these, I could. If I had a sheet cut where we wanted it to cut, if we had it land there, then I could just omit it here. But if you need to recreate it like we're going to here, we're going to get into how that works. So again, center, everything is the same, all the same blocks, all the same setups, and you would probably use the same thing. Need to change that layer. I'm going to put that on cAnal this time. In the other drawing, I had a layer for the match lines. This one I do not. So again, what do we want it to center on? I'll pick both of those. And then that's the only layout tab I have in this one, is the same layout tab for that. And as you can see, everything else held. And you would typically probably be working in some sort of set scale. So once you got it set, you don't need to change anything again. And here's that sheet storage location again, like I mentioned. So when I do this, it's going to land in the same sheet set manager folder. You wouldn't do that. I'm just going to do it here. So with that, then I can finish. And you're going to see that here in a second. That's putting all my sheets in the same sheet set. Not the typical way to do it, but I think you understand how that works. If you've worked with sheet sets before, it's not that mysterious. So again, we can see it happening in the background right here. I can't move it, but it creates that temporary drawing again to do all of our layouts in. And just like that, it's finished again. I don't know why I got unreconciled. Not going to worry about that. When we'll look in our sheet set manager, and as I said, they're all going to the same location, so that's why it's populating here. So click the wrong one. I did tiny core. Oops. So now we're here, and like I said, if things changed, if I'm doing this right now, we're going to work in this drawing right here to do our updates. So if I come back to here, everything is still the same. It's still the same as our main, our working drawing over here. It's exactly the same. Whoops, wrong one. It's exactly the same, as you can see. And that's what that copy was that it made. So now we work in here if we need to update. So let's change these layouts now to go to just show the storm through here. So I'm gonna go from about 55 here to we'll just end it at 89. So again, we're gonna just kind of go right down the line again, like we've done before. And I already know that that's 55 to 89. And I could go and pick my selection too if I had something, just random number that you wanted to pick here, or an area to show. Probably not the typical way to do it. You would want even stationing. Then we just simply have to go through this again. Everything's set here, looks like. So we went 450 between these the last time we were in this drawing. Let's just try it. Let's see where they land. So everything being the same, I can just hit finish here. And I should have deleted all that stuff. So we've got multiples here, I think. We can delete this off of here. That's not one we need. But don't think I have multiples here. If it did, we'll just rerun it. So no, not there. It came down to here. Did I miss something? Maybe rerun it again. Maybe didn't get it to go. I said 89, which it should have done. Why it did that, I don't know. Let me just get rid of all of this. Have it do it from scratch. All right, so I guess we're back to square one here. I don't know why it didn't go to there. Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully it works right. So we said 450 between. I don't know if that's what's causing it, but let's run it again and see. I guess it's just grabbing that last to fit that, to get to 89. It's fitting in right there, I would imagine. I don't know for 100%, but not the point here. So I'm just going to let that be. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase these other profiles. Get that out of there. We'll go back to our profile views. Again, as I said before, it accesses the native, all the native tools. Let me back up one more. This is important to match the length of our viewports. And our height is important as well, but we can change that on the adjust views. I'm going to set that to 70. I know that's what we need to be. Surface right there. No labels. Next. And here's the storm. We don't need to add that. We're going to do that later. That's especially important if we had multiples in there. So there's our layouts. Now we want to put our network onto our profiles. So I want to select all of these. And then it's asking me, I mentioned before, which networks we want to put in. And I'm going to look 20 feet either side of my main alignment. I know that will fit because it's inside of my curb line all the way along. So I'm going to hit OK right there. And now they've landed in there. Looks like this one might be missing a piece. We can take care of that. So let's use our adjust profiles. Same thing, select our profiles. Whoops. Okay, got one too many. I'm going to reselect them. Okay, there's our 9. As I've mentioned in our past webinars, you don't need to select them ahead of time. As we just did right there, you can pick them right there. Here's that 70 I talked about for our height. So one or more Yes, that's fine. Okay. Oh, we've got this extra one. That's hanging around from before, I think. We don't need that one. Let me get that out of there. That's what it was. That's what it was complaining about right there. So then we adjusted our profiles, we put our networks, and the move on profiles is if again, if you have blocks or anything else in there, it gives you, let me open it up real quick. It gives you the option to move these things. I'm just going to select this one right here. So here we can talk about how we want it offset and whatnot down here. If you have that things in there that you've set, it gives you the option to adjust them as you go here. So now let's do our profile view shapes. Okay, next. And again, I'm going to go back here for this. You could click centered if you want to, or like I mentioned before in some of our other webinars, is that once you have this set, you probably won't have to change it when you know where they land. So our masking block, that's that block I showed you before. You've seen that in our other webinars. So there's our views. Everything looks good right there. So now we have the same thing that we created before. So we're here to here, but we're starting in a different place. It looks like I did miss that one right there, but I'm not going to worry about it. So here's where we update our layouts then. So then that brings up this dialog box right here. And we pull this here, the same alignment, and our current drawing or all drawings, however you wanted to do that there. It's more options, letting us know what we want to do here. All the same settings. If you used plan and plan, you would click this right here, same as plan. We're using plan and profile. Again, our scale. And as we go through here, same stuff. If you wanted to change any of this, we're not going to. We're going to leave that at the match line. We got some cool filter options in here too. If you did want to change something here or find something, your north arrow, if you got a whole bunch of blocks, that comes in handy. And then our insert our match lines. And again, all the same settings we had before. Leave that checked. And now here's where the update comes in to play right here. So these are the previous ones, and it knows to match these up now here to change these. You could have it do these if you wanted to, but you really want to update these to the new stationing. So I'm going to just leave these checked just the way they are, and I'm going to hit finish right here. And now it's doing the same thing as before in the background, but this time it's updating and not creating. So we don't have to go back and open up each one and change, move our profiles around, our plans around, change our viewports, all that kind of stuff. And if we come and we look, whoops, if we look, come on, in our sheet set manager now, we've got different stationing set up for these. So you can see it fixed them down here as well. all within the same drawing. So here's it's gone through and changed our station. And we don't need to open that up again to do it because it's been done down here. And if we have an extra one in here that's hanging around, which this one might be, we can just simply remove it. We don't need it. And so that's the update part of Sheet Generator. So with that, that's all I had to show you today. I think you may have found some of this hopefully useful. Got a little longer than I intended to, but again, this is part of our CTC Sim project suite of tools. We also have our manager suite of tools. If you don't have our stuff and you're interested in it, we have a 14-day trial. That can be accessed at our website, ctcsoftware.com, or you contact your local reseller and they can help you out as well. And as always, if you have any ideas or need any help, please contact us here at support, and we'd be happy to help you out and entertain any new ideas that you have. Our tools are built for you, for whatever you want, and we really welcome your suggestions and ideas. So with that, that's all I have. Thank you for spending the time with us today. I appreciate it. And we will have another webinar next week, and we're going to be covering some Label Genie stuff. So again, thank you for your time, and I will entertain any other questions you have. I'll hang around for a minute. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. Thanks.